Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the one thing the Clippers will need to win it all. So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to ensure that whenever we publish a video, you see it whenever it comes out. Also, make sure you check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community that we created, a place where you can start basketball discussions, chat live during games, so many other cool things. If you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below, and get 7 days of access before the playoffs begin. Also, make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to receive loyalty badges from our channel. And also, whenever we go live, to ensure that you get your comment responded to whenever we go live. So make sure you go ahead and do that. It's next to the subscribe button. Anyway, so let me get into the topic here. So the Clippers overall have had a very good season this year. Let's be honest, because the season is coming down to an end. We only have 2 games remaining in the season, and we're getting ready to go into the playoffs, which I'm sure all of us are excited about. Some people are maybe on pins and needles because they're like, okay, I don't know how my team is going to perform. But anyway, they've had a very good season. Right now, currently, as we're speaking, they're the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. So they have a good seed, right? Last year, I think they finished with the number 2 seed. This year in the number 3 seed, they can still have some movement, but overall, they've had a good team. They've shown that they can beat some of the best teams in the Western Conference this year. They've proven that, right? They've gone 3-0 against the Lakers this year. They beat the Lakers 3 times. The Phoenix Suns, who currently sit above them in the second and number 2 spot in the Western Conference standings, they beat them. They've gone 2-1 against them. Dallas Mavericks, they've gone 2-1 against them. They've gone 3-0 against the Portland Trail Blazers, who are a very good team, who could possibly be a first-round matchup for them as things currently stand, at least today. And they've gone 1-2 against the Denver Nuggets, for whom, for whatever reason, they seem to have difficulties playing against that team. Maybe they're just a bad matchup for the Clippers. I don't know why, right? Because the Denver Nuggets can beat the Clippers, but then the Lakers can turn around and beat the Denver Nuggets without LeBron. It's a very strange thing that you see with those 2 teams, right? For whatever reason, they give the Clippers some issues. Now, the Clippers did a good job this year by ensuring that they would have some success in the playoffs by adding some key veterans. If you look at their roster, they were able to add some important pieces. If you think of Nicholas Batum this year was playing so well for this team that he ended up getting the starting position early on in this year. Now, Tyronn Lue made a comment, which I think was a bit hyperbolic. He said that the Clippers would be a lottery team or the 10th seed, or they'd be out of the playoffs without Nicholas Batum. I don't know how true that is, but that's what he said. Nicholas Batum has been a great glue guy for the team. He can play defense. He's a crafty defensive player. He can knock down open threes. I think he's shooting above 40% from the three-point line, so he's been a very good addition to replace John Michael Green that they had last season. They also added some size in Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka was the guy that they replaced Montrezl Harrell with, who ultimately went to go sign with the Lakers. They replaced Montrezl Harrell, who's a 6'7" power forward, very talented around the rim, could score around the rim, quite crafty, was the 6th man of the year last year, for Serge Ibaka, who was a championship experience, good shot blocker. Added him there to the lineup to give them some more size. They also added Rajon Rondo, who I think all of us will agree is an upgrade over Lou Williams. Lou Williams gave me fits all throughout this season. He just gave me fits. So I was really happy that they were able to go out there and get Rondo, although he was a bit sloppy last night. He had a lot of turnovers last night, which was unlike him. Then they added DeMarcus Cousins, who everyone forgot about. They added him to the team, and he's come in, he's given them some good minutes, some good backup minutes there. So they've added some key veterans. I like the player development. I also like the player development job that they've done with some of the young players like Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann has just been such a good player this year. They've really developed him really, really well. And just to touch on him for a moment, we were looking at the game last night. We were live chatting during the game last night. I was watching them play against the Charlotte Hornets. And, at certain points in that game, I was just saying to myself, I think Terrence Mann would have done a better job in stretches over Reggie Jackson. Now, Reggie Jackson is a better scorer, obviously. He's a much more seasoned veteran. But I like what Terrence Mann brings to the game. I like the fact that he has a steady game, right? He's never really out of control. He's a good playmaker. He has some good length to him. He has some good size. He can defend at a high level. He's a very good defender. It looks like he's a serviceable defender. He can play his man. He can play man-to-man defense, and he's a knockdown 3-point shooter. He's really improved his shot. I saw a piece that the Clippers released recently when they were talking about how they were working on improving the mechanics of his release or whatever it was this season, and he's really improved. I also think Tyronn Lue has done a good job with this group, coaching this group, getting them this far, given the fact that they had so many injuries this season. I've said this point before, and I'll say it again. Clippers they've missed at least 100 games combined with their starters and their starting lineup, so they missed up a lot of things. However, the Clippers do need to focus on some things to win. And that's really what I'm trying to get to. Number one, the Clippers need to be focused. They need to improve their focus. Now, one could say it could be a bit alarming that with 2 games left in the regular season, we're talking about the Clippers need to be focused. It's a bit disappointing, right? But the Clippers need to be a little bit more focused. They have this habit of not being focused early in games, which leads to turnovers and a lot of careless passes. Last night, we got to see that on full display. They seem unfocused. There was no real concentration. I don't know if it was that they were overlooking their opponent, but they just made a lot of bad passes as a team. It wasn't a Paul George thing or a Reggie Jackson thing, or it was the entire team, Rondo included. They didn't look focused. They looked out of sync. Now, to be fair, the Charlotte Hornets basically ran a zone for the entire game, and the zone generally does that, right? The zone kind of throws your offense out of whack. So the zone had a role to play, but they just looked really unfocused, and they looked careless at times, right? They looked careless, a lot of errant passes that could lead to turnovers, which is something I don't like. Another thing that needs to be cleaned. Another thing that needs to happen to ensure that the Clippers have success this year is that they need to be healthy. Health is going to play a big role. Right. Health can make or break a series. Look at last year in the NBA final. 2 years ago in the NBA finals, they said if Klay Thompson didn't get injured, if KD didn't get injured, some people said the Warriors would have won. Look at last year, the Lakers go to the finals. They go and meet a banged up, a banged up Miami Heat team. Bam Adebayo got injured. Goran Dragic got injured. So injuries are going to play a role in health. They need to be healthy. So I hope their players stay healthy as they go through the playoffs. But ultimately, I think the Clippers need to get lucky. They're going to need some luck. And I think a lot of people don't kind of place enough of an emphasis on this. People try to take credit for every single thing that they do, but luck plays a role. Being at the right place, being at the right time. Yeah, you got to be prepared, but you're going to need some lucky breaks. I've seen it happen for countless teams. Every single team that goes on to win a title has had a lucky break here and there. It's just a reality. Just go back and look at teams that have won titles. You can look back at every single team and say, wow, they got lucky there. Wow, imagine if that didn't break their way. Luck plays a role. Certainly does in business. Every business person you meet will tell you, every honest business person you meet will tell you, luck plays a role in things. You got to get lucky sometimes. Things have to go your way, right? Luck is going to play a role, and I think they will need some of it. They're really going to need it, because for the Clippers to sort of break their streak of not doing well in the playoffs and at least not ever making it to conference finals, some things need to go their way. And if it does, then I think they're going to have a good shot. Some things you can control, and other things you just can't. If you lose a player to injury, you got unlucky. So if you stay healthy, you got lucky, right? You can't control things you can't control injuries. So hopefully those things happen. Hopefully they get a little bit of luck as the playoffs go on. And hopefully this will be able to put them in the right position to win. I think if these things happen, they're going to give themselves a shot. It's going to be a tough Western Conference, but as Chris Paul said yesterday, you can't really duck and dodge in the Western Conference, man. You got to play who's in front of you. And I think the Clippers need to be focused as they go into these playoffs. So what I want to know from you guys is, what are the things that you think need to happen for this team to be successful? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.